the other big news, obviously, of the day is Adam Cole, who they announced on the 0 Hour, not medically cleared to compete on the show. And they stated that he would be vacating the TNT Championship, which right there, when they say they were stripping him of the title as opposed to doing the interim deal, you got the sense that probably it's something bad. And so the makeshift match would be Kyle Fletcher, his original opponent, Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, and Sammy Guevara. And we can talk about this a little now. Cole did come out in front of the audience, and I mean, this man looked totally broken at this news. He wrestled on Thursday, so that's when the injury took place. He did not disclose what the injury is, but stated his health issues are going to take him away for a long time. And then he went so far as to say, I don't want to talk retirement yet because I'm not in the right headspace, but in case it is, like, I want to come out and thank all of you. And I mean, I thought this totally just deflated this audience who felt heartbroken for this guy who has had the worst of luck over the last 3 years when it's come to concussions, to destroying his foot at the Grand Slam event last year, and now this latest one, which, I mean, who knows the extent of it. I mean, obviously people are going to be speculating upon the fact that, you know, this is probably concussion related, but we don't know that for sure of what he's dealing with. But regardless, like the fact that retirement even came up here, it tells you this is a pretty serious deal. And it was obviously like the lowest point of the show, just from an emotional standpoint for a lot of people who, you know, it's like you just saw him on Thursday and it had to have just, you know, been out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking news, obviously. And it definitely had an effect on the match that followed it. But I'm also really glad we got this moment on TV, because I think they very well could have said, hey, like, just sit this one out. You're not going to appear on screen. Like, you know, enjoy the show, like, in the back. But they chose to have Adam Cole come out and give this speech to the audience, vacate the title. And I thought it presented like the most real moment on the entire show. It's a heartbreaking moment, but it's one of real emotion that exists in this very like difficult sport that these men choose to engage in. And I thought it allowed him at least like this one moment on this stage in front of this massive audience. I don't want to say last, but you know, like could be for him to connect with the crowd. And I'm really glad we got that on the show. And you know, I'm really, really hoping that whatever this is, it's not the last time we'll be seeing him in wrestling, because he's had such a bad several years, you know, and that's only from what we're seeing. There's so much that I'm sure is going on with him mentally through all of this that we will never see and we will never understand. And that's about to get only worse for him right now. So I really hope he's got a good support system. I mean, at the end of this, I think we all just wanted to give this guy a really, really big hug. So I mean, I hope it's not the end of his career. But in either case, I hope he's okay. You know, like we've seen this guy just go through his ups and go through his downs, and there's been a lot of downs lately, you know, compared to 2 years ago, main eventing this show, to now possibly having to announce a retirement. I mean, it's difficult enough not being on the biggest show of the year. I'm sure that's way worse when you've prepped as much as you have for this particular match, only for that to be pulled away from you. Who knows, like, what could be hours, could have been at least a day or two, you know, prior to this. Heartbreaking. And on top of that,
the way, if you watched on the 0 Hour, when Renee made the announcement, I mean, either they were like the best actors possible, because it sounded like Jeff Jarrett and the panel here were hearing this for the first time when Renee said it. Like, I'm sure this was kept very quiet, and like their reaction was just like of shock that they were hearing this.
Yeah, my only suspicion about whether or not they might have known this prior to like a few hours before is the fact that they had this Ian Riccaboni voiced video package hyping up this four-way that they aired before the match. And I'm like, at what point did you create this video? Could it have been in the few hours since this was announced? Well, I'm thinking more like, did they have the heads up, and did they tell video team Ian Riccaboni, hey, prep a video like this in case we had to pull Cole out? I don't know, but whoever had to work on it probably didn't have that much time to work on it, and so that really surprised me.
Well, listen, this happened on Thursday. It's like, I'm sure they were probably like coming out of Thursday. Okay, he's banged up. We'll see Friday or even Saturday. Like, I'm sure they were waiting until the drop dead date to be able to officially pull him from this show, and if he would be able to or not. It's, again, like, we don't know the specifics, and it's very hard to gauge like how bad this is for him. And obviously, I'm sure he's just a bundle of emotions from all of this that
It's
is
completely fresh. You can see it on his eyes. He's bawling his eyes out.
well,
Probably
that's why when you throw out retirement, it's like, maybe that is, sometimes we've seen this with fighters where it's like they have this loss, and it's this they say something in the cage, and it's just so fresh. Like, again, we don't know what this could be. Very severe given his history and all of that. Like, it's you just don't know.
Just maybe, so we can maybe like just talk about this just a little bit more. But like, can you imagine how difficult it was for Tony to tell that news to Adam Cole, in the back, to tell him that you can't wrestle on this show, like, and can you imagine, like, I have to think it's like, this was probably a case where like Cole probably was willing to be like, just let me wrestle this last match. Just let me have this one. And they still couldn't let him do it. And like, how tough of a moment is that for all of them involved?
I would say that would give me a lot of confidence in a company that would because in another era, he is wrestling that last match. It's like, I'm glad we're at a point now where even on, like, granted, it's not the main event of the show, but this is your biggest show of the year. This is one of your champions. And there's probably a lot of promoters in history that would not have thought twice about just get the match in the ring. He drops the title, and then we deal with that problem.
Yeah.
It's G1 Climax season, and that means the Post Wrestling Cafe has you covered with podcasts covering every single tournament match. Plus, we've got Rewind Away going back to 2005 to review Vengeance featuring Triple H versus Batista in a Hell in a Cell match. John and Way are going to be reviewing F1 the movie starring Brad Pitt, and of course, XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown. Ad-free with the news of the week and your feedback. Sign up now at postwrestlingcafe.com.